Hello ladies and gentlemen, here we are back on Ark Survival Ascended with my newest series. I'll be kicking things off here with the standard island note run, as I always do. Check out my other videos to find the most efficient 10-minute note run to get to that all-important level 68 for your auto turrets. So this season we're over on the official PvP cluster, but this is the modded maps. So basically what this is one of every single kind of map, two of some. So it's like a larger version of the Cross Ark from ASE, which, as you guys who know me know, that was my favorite version of Ark, and I was bitterly disappointed when Wildcard did not release one for ASA. And the mods that they have doesn't really change the gameplay very much. It's mainly just additional dinos and some new maps, just to spice things up for those of us that have been playing this game for way too long. So this series is going to start off as a bit of a duo series with my mate Tamed. He's actually over on the center, which is released a little while ago. He's over there at the moment taming us up some PTs and RGs just to get us started. I'm going to hit up this note run. Let's see where we're up to. Level 68 so far. Yeah, so we're there already. We're just going to pick up the rest of these notes while our 4x note lasts. And see how much extra we can get, but 68 is important because it will get us those auto turrets. And then the plan is to hop on over to single player and find us a rat hole. So here we are at last note of the run. About 50% of the time I can get it within the 4x, but this does not look like a lucky run. We're going to run out of stamina in a second, but it doesn't really matter. We've got the level we need so that we can sleep easy at night with some auto turrets. The next priority is to get that rat hole. We're going to be looking throughout the center. I've got high hopes. Scorched Earth was a bit of a disappointment with so many beds not working in potential rat holes. We actually lived for a long time on small tribes in a rat hole with no beds, and that was just cancer. So yeah, so we're hoping that center is going to not disappoint. It was great in ASE for rat hole life. So I've got high hopes that it will not disappoint this time. Just pop in these extra levels. There we go. Yep, level 69. That will do for now. We're going to hop on over into single player, find some rat hole, and then hopefully look for an early game raid just to get us through that monotonous early game grind. So here we are over in single player. For those that don't use single player to scout and test things out, you really should. It is the best way to play test things before you fuck them up in the live servers. So you just gotta hit your console key and you can type in commands. So GCM stands for God Creative Mode, makes you invulnerable. You can craft anything, you can do anything. Fly obviously lets you fly. Then we can zip around. Slow-mo actually speeds up the game by the number. So this is a 20-fold increase. That's maybe a bit too fast. Let's lower that down a little bit. You've also got commands like Ghost, so you can fly through the mesh and textures. So that'll do. So I've been here already, scouting around a little bit. I'll show you some of the ones that we've found. We're looking for a rat hole that has got a good balance of being a defensible location, first and foremost. So this one here was pretty interesting. It's at the top of Redwoods. It looks like it might have been intended by Wildcard with those steps there. It's got a large entrance, which at the moment doesn't really matter because for some reason Quetzals aren't spawning on this map yet. But by the time they do spawn, then this will be an easy raid. It's also, as you can see, way down at the Redwoods. So it's quite far away from resources. There's a bit of metal in the Redwoods, but we're going to have to travel a long way to the poly. This one is even further away from resources, but actually looks pretty interesting. It's in this little alcove here, and again, it looks like it might have been intended by Wildcard because it's got this square hatch frame entrance leading up. It's quite a lot of space for a starter base. Would be quite defensible, especially with tech turrets, and that's the thing. I think you really need tech turrets here shooting down into that hole. Otherwise, a player can probably push themselves up while riding a stego and soak most of your heavies. Also, it will be good for farm once you have scuba and underwater, but clearly at level 69 we can't even make the scuba yet. So the deep sea farm that's just next to this is not accessible for us yet. So one for the future maybe. So we're going to pop on over to Floating Island. which is obviously a much more central location, really close to Polly. There's quite a lot of metal on the floating island to farm. So we will show a few of the rat holes we found here. And these have got some very interesting ones. This one really quite big on the underside of the floating island. Plenty of space to build, plenty of space to breed. And the entrance is over here. So it's reasonable size. You can fly an RG in carrying an Anki, but that does not fit a Quetz, or I do not think it will fit a Quetz or Wyvern or anything bigger. Unfortunately, you can probably get turreted into the base if people place turrets down there, which will make it hard to get out of if we get found. But in terms of location, it's pretty good. I've got our iceberg over there for the poly, and lots of metal on the floating island. And the swamp obviously all around as well for wood and for meat is pretty good. So here we are. Again, this is a different rat hole, I promise you. It looks so similar. Same sort of size. Will be good for me and tamed starting out. It's a bit less build restrictions on this one for some reason, but the entrance is almost identical. However, this one is a little bit harder for enemies to build in. They're going to have to place turrets all around the edge like this. It will require more turrets to block us in, and we can still probably even get out with a lucky PTC spin. So that does look better. Again, we're still nice and central. Swamp, icebergs up there, and that's the inside of floating island, which has got lots of crystal and metal. And there's a bit of obsidian around the lake at the bottom, as well as pearls in that lake down there. So really, this location has got everything we need. However, this is my most favorite spot. This is the one we're going to go for. I've started building things out in here just to test to make sure it works. This is a sneaky little entrance. We are going to have to place some sloped roofs to get in. But as you can see, it's on the upper side of the floating island. People can fob there to block us in, so that is a downside. Probably the biggest downside. We're hoping though it's so sneaky that people might not find it immediately. Let's just remove some of these so you can just see this is just a little tiny crack. Once raiders blow these thatch roofs to get in, they're going to have to grapple into that little narrow corridor, and even once they blow the foundations, it'll be even harder to get through because you can't run on this rock. So pretty narrow entrance, easily defendable with enough turrets over there on that far wall. Inside, look, I've started building it. It can fit a rep and an indie forge, which is just insane. There's space above this for a bit of a breeding floor. Down here we'll have some sort of a kitchen. I've even started dreaming big. Look at that. Imagine the day we get tech, if we ever get tech, for a little war room. And then there's all these little alcoves here where we can do even more raising. So yeah, this spot is the one we're going to go for. I haven't seen it in any YouTube videos yet. That's only a matter of time. I haven't put rat hole in the name of this YouTube video, so if you happen to be watching this and you don't see these rat holes anywhere else, then they are still good to build in, to check them out. So we've fast forward a couple of days. Like I say, Tamed was already busy, hard at work, farming for us, and found this little base when we were farming underneath the floating islands. It's just in the 6x cavern, and this here is one of my favorite ways of raiding a base. It only really works when you've got a base with a long run up like this, so you don't get shot by the turrets, and ideally 6x, because in 6x it's only 3 ballista bolts per auto turret, 7 for heavies, because the turrets count as a wooden structure for some reason, so the ballista can damage them. And we can get in without having to soak anything, which is convenient because we got nothing to soak with. We just farmed a bit of thatch, fiber, and flint and some metal for these ballista bolts, and hoping to get in. Now this guy had a fraction of these turrets yesterday, so that's why I'm speeding this raid up today. I have seen him flying onto the RG, so there's a chance he's online. Unfortunately, when I was doing this raid, you can see that there's no timer on enemy structures, and that was some bug that has since been fixed, but we couldn't tell whether he was online or offline. His RG is on top, so there's every chance that he was going to come out and try and clap us, but we've got a long neck and I've got an RG as well with us with a bit more resources on. So this isn't a long way of raiding. This will take us less than 10 minutes to blow all these turrets. There's only about 8 that we need to blow, 3 on this line, maybe 5 or 6 on the roof. And I'm super hopeful that this guy's going to have some juice for us. Like I say, he more than doubled his number of turrets overnight, so he's definitely got an anglerfish. And he's should have plenty of farm in there for us. So we're just gonna smash down the rest of these turrets with the trusty ballista, and then hopefully break in. There is another bug here, as you can see, that even when we destroy the turrets, it looks like they're still there. But I am hopeful that that is just a bug. You can see the bags, so. The turrets are getting destroyed. I think it's just a visual bug, but we'll find out when we fly up to this base on our RG and our prim flak whether we get railed or not. So yeah, so we're just going to keep on knocking on his door. If he doesn't check his logs as well, this is still sneaky. He might be in there crafting and whatnot. So the first notification you might have of us here is blowing in, because obviously this doesn't make any noise. So yeah, the other reason why we're raiding this guy is that he lives literally 300 meters beneath our rat hole, and we do not want him to find us. We're a little bit late on this wipe, so there is going to be an established alpha tribe somewhere. And at the moment, just a couple heavies on that little ledge that I showed you outside our rat hole, and we're going to be stuck inside. We've got no way of getting out. Transfers aren't open. We'll have to farm again to get rockets or something to try and destroy them. It's too high to even build into off the ground, so we'll be definitely in a bad way if we get fobbed on anytime soon. So just a few more of these turrets. If you line up the vertical and then just use your keyboard just to push the up arrow, you'll never go off to the side. That looks like we're probably pretty good. Let's give this a shot then. So we've got our 8 C4, not a lot to waste, but we didn't want to waste time farming. We've got our prim flak, so let's hope that we got all the turrets. We're going to try and fly down this way. The plan is to come up and under the base, avoiding all the turrets. Should be good, should be alright. If you're trying to build a base to defend against the ballista, it's all about creating turrets that are difficult to get line of sight on. Obviously this base would have been difficult for him in any which way, but it looks like we've got clear run. I think that it's got a bag. Oh well. I'm pretty sure I count them all from the distance. Oh well, one way to find out. Let's give this a shot, see how it goes. Slow and steady, slow and steady. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. You'll see in a moment when I show you, but he's got about 20 more autos pointing at the front of that base. And remember, it's still 6x, so 1 C4 should be good. Let's hope he doesn't have any internals. Otherwise, we're going to have to think of a plan B. And if he is online, well, he's about to find out. And we're about to find out. Let's see. Want some ninja skills. Okay. Show us the juice. What have you got for us? Oh, that's convenient. And there's the gen. I don't see any internals. Those are some dinos. Not a lot in the base, but there we go. Oh, okay, and some of them are on aggressive. Let's clear a bigger hole here. And a Pelagornis. Oh, and I saw Pyromane just flash up there. That is going to be awkward. Let's make a bigger hole and see what's what. Land back on this ledge. My ninja skills. That'll do. You can fly down, Mr. Wolf. And we've got the gen, just in case he comes back. Okay, what have we got? Oh, 3 turrets, that's nice. Some bullets, bit of shit, some saddles, a couple BPs. Those empty cryopods don't fill me with a lot of confidence. I haven't seen the cryo fridge yet either. Nice passy saddle there. Mostly shit. Oh well. Still profit, like considering this raid doesn't require much. Okay, some metal. And remember, we're only a few hundred meters from our rat hole, so all this stuff can come back home. It'll just take a bit of time. I have some egg? No. Okay, so a bit of a bust, but like I say, for such a low cost raid, this wasn't too bad. He must have an anglerfish somewhere, it's just not in his base. The question is, do we kill all of his dinos? I feel bad, this was a cheesy offline raid against somebody who's also just starting up. But he does live very close to a rat hole, and at the moment we want to stay sneaky for survival. So in the name of the game, I think we're going to destroy all those dinos and blow the base, because we don't want him living close to us, taking our farm, or worse, spotting our rat hole and reporting us to the alphas. Like I say, 2 heavies outside our rat hole is going to be a major problem for us at the moment. So we'll blow some of these turrets, get the ARB, and then we'll find a way of killing these dinos. And that's the raid. Let's see how much ARB he's got on the turrets. Yeah, not loads. But there's enough turrets here, there's probably about 30 turrets, so that'll be about 3k ARB. So it isn't terrible, and with it being 6x, it's definitely worth the C4. So we'll get cleared up, get everything back to base, and I'll see you for the next episode. Yeah, so thanks for watching, take care, peace out, and stay tuned for episode 2.